Hey guys, today I'm going to show you the best way to make backcountry coffee, at least the best way I found. If you think you have a better way, leave a comment or do a video reply, but you're not going to find a better way. We're using the Solo Fill K3 cup. This was made to replace those pre-filled cups that you buy for a Keurig, so that you can use your own ground coffee at home and make your own cup of coffee with this in a Keurig. It is gold foil made out of 24 karat gold in plastic, which is BPA free, at really high quality, really solid piece. The other great thing about it is it only weighs 6 grams. After you take the lid off, it only weighs 6 grams or 0.2 of an ounce. I bought it hoping for it to fit perfectly into my Nalgene and sit on the lip and still be able to screw the top closed, but it's just slightly smaller than that. It'll fall in if you try to do that. But what I did notice is there's a little ring on the top of your Nalgene lid here on the inside, and it fits perfectly into that ring there. Pops right in. It's got a pretty good hold on there, but it's not rock solid. But it does have some pretty good friction to hold it in there. What I suggest doing is when you take this lid off, there's still a little bit of the lip left where the hinge went. You got to cut it off. And when I clipped it pretty close to the plastic where it's smaller than the rest of the circumference of the lip is. Instead of cutting it off, take a file and just file it down a little bit, and it should give you a more positive lock into that lid if you leave a little bit more of the material there than I did, and you'll have it lock in there a lot better. But still works good for me. I just made my first cup of coffee with it. It worked perfect. So let's get on with it. Also, the awesome thing about this is you can use this in the backcountry to make coffee, and when you get back, this lid, even after you take the hinge off, it still pops into this. So if you have a Keurig, you can still use this to make coffee at home instead of just throwing it in your gear bin. So we're going to boil some water here real fast. What I found as far as volume of this, I looked up some coffee how-to websites, and it says for 16 ounces of coffee you would want to use 1/4 a cup of grounds. So how many ever ounces you're using, divide that by 4, and that's how many cups you should need, or 16 ounces equals 1/4 of a cup. A full Nalgene would be a cup of coffee, so just use that to do your math. And this holds just about 1/4 of a cup of grounds when you fill it loosely. I'm sure if you packed it in there a little bit, 1/4 of a cup, just fine. So anywhere, I'd say between 14 to 16 ounces of water, and you'll make a good cup of coffee. I just like to use 16 because that's about how much coffee I like to have in the morning. I consider a pint of coffee, I don't know, the standard is anywhere between 5 to 8 ounces as a cup, but a pint of coffee is about what I like to drink in the morning. Delicious. So just grind your beans up, take those out with you before you go. You can fill this cup up. With your grounds. Another great thing is 24 karat gold doesn't pass any flavor along like stainless steel does. As far as I know titanium and gold are some of the only metals that do that really well, where it doesn't impart any flavor. The good thing is with gold, they can make the little slots in the foil filter really tiny, so none of these grounds are going to pass through the screen. Unlike stainless steel, you'll still get a lot of grounds. Unless you do a really coarse ground, you're going to be passing stuff through the stainless steel. So we're boiling. Awesome. Turn that off. So you get your cup, it's full of grounds, snap it in. Alright, am locked in. As you can see, it's still holding, but be very careful and cautious. At least I need to be, because I got rid of most of that lip material where the hinge was, but it still fits in and hangs in there just fine, pretty well. Take your water. Try not to burn yourself if you don't have grips. And you can put boiling water in an Nalgene. It says temperature range on its website, and it's pretty much right above freezing to 212 degrees, so it's safe, BPA free as well. Which some stainless steel bottles, if you look at them, they say don't put boiling water in them, but Nalgene says it's not a problem. So I got 16 ounces of water in here, got my cup snapped in. Just put that cup on. Be gentle, not to knock it around too much, because you don't want to drop your cup into the grounds, or your cup of grounds into the water. Can't talk this morning. I haven't finished my coffee yet. Flip it upside down, lean it against something so it doesn't fall over, and it's going to infuse. And actually, if you kind of give it a little bit of swirl, help it work some water in there. Pretty much watch this change in front of your eyes. But I also read how long, because this is similar to a French press, kind of what we're doing here, just by infusing the water through the coffee here, and it recommends 4 minutes. So we'll do 4 minutes. Set my timer for 4 minutes.
Okay, 4 minutes and counting.
Let's see here, some other benefits. Let's say you did somehow pop that off the lid, and now all your grounds are mixed in with your boiling water, which is another way people like to make coffee in the backcountry. They call it cowboy coffee, which basically you'd boil your water in here, and after you boil it, you turn the heat off. You just throw the grounds in there loose. So now it's going to brew a cup of coffee similar to this in a French press, and they're going to sink and settle to the bottom. And then they just drink their coffee with the grounds sitting at the bottom as they settle, so they're not drinking them. And that's cowboy coffee. Problem with that, and with French presses too, is if you don't take the grounds out, it's continually making the coffee stronger and more nasty and bitter tasting, because it's still continually infusing the grounds into it. But since you have the filter here, all you do is, if this knocks off and it gets all nasty, is transfer your cowboy coffee mixture back into your pot, get your filter out, and just hold the filter very carefully over the bottle, which you wash the grounds out of, and then pour your ground water. You can just use it as a filter. It'll filter the grounds right back out of it, so you won't have a nasty cup of coffee. It'll still work just fine if you have an accident. Just to waste some time here, some other stuff I got going on. I like to use Light My Fire Spork. Has a really good fork end on one side, spoon on the other, instead of having just the stupid little cuts out of the end here that make it not really a very good spork. It comes in the same as the plastic design, where it's kind of like a wavy design, but you can heat it up and flatten it out, which is what I really like about it with the titanium one. So really good utensil, fork, spoon, titanium, strong, lightweight, works awesome. Cook kit I got here is the Snow Peak Trek 1400, 1.4 liter pot, and a 5-inch pan. Works really well for if you like to go fishing. That way you can fry some fish up, bring some oil, put some oil in there, you can fry some fish up. Very light, very good construction. A lot of people use Snow Peak type stuff for their cooking needs. The other reason why I got the 1400, I'm planning on buying a BioLite and using that for my longer trips, and so I don't have to bring gas. fuel canister stoves, unless I'm going above tree line, because most places where I go it's wooded, because BioLite also creates power. It has a huge flaw, but if you come back to my channel after I buy it, I'll show you how to fix it. Another guy in the internet YouTube videos has already showed how to fix it. You just put aluminum foil tape over the power unit and it charges like 10 times as good. And for my canister stove, it's a Soto Windmaster. This is the best screw-on one I found. Works excellent. Has the piezo start. Works really well in the wind. And I love these pot supports where it comes off and snaps on like that, where they're not like the MSR, Pocket Rocket, and Micro Rocket. They have hinges on their things that pop out. It gets bent and then it's uneven, where this doesn't get bent. It snaps on. It always stays level. All right, we're ready to go. So, yeah, I forgot to swirl. If you really want to brew it, you got to swirl it a couple times through. It's good and infused. So I'm just going to do this for about 30 seconds because I was supposed to be doing this instead of talking and run my mouth about what kind of gear I use. Sit here and swirl it occasionally while it's going. It'll do a nice good brew. Alright, so now it's getting brewed. Carefully turn your cup back over. This is going to release some pressure. There it goes. Carefully take your cup out, and be careful because that gold and everything, the metal part on there obviously can be hot. It was just submerged in boiling water, and it's still shooting steam out. There we go. Pop that baby off right there. You're still going to have grounds on the top of your cup here, so you just rinse that off with some of your water. I'm going to do it under my sink since I have a sink. There you have it. You got a cup of brewed coffee with 0 grounds in there. You can add your cream or your sugar, or what I switched to was bulletproof coffee, which all you got to do is bring a little blender ball with you, which I thought I had it sitting around here somewhere. Anyway, that thing weighs 15 grams or a ½ ounce for a little blender ball that goes in a protein shaker. Just throw that in, throw in about a tablespoon of grass-fed butter, and scoop in a little bit of coconut oil, shake it up, and you got bulletproof coffee. Yeah, so I think that's the best way to make coffee in the backcountry. Real quick, real easy, no extra weight, hardly 6 grams for the little filter. It's reusable, works great. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.